And with that, welcome everybody to Toonkind at 12 FPS. Today you are presented with Sunday, Triny versus TOC. I will be playing Triny, and my friend here, who can introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Authorticity. I will be playing the aforementioned TOC.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, mild warning, the first half of this is going to be pretty soft, for the most part. And then the second half might be a little bit angsty. I will make sure to send out a warning before we get to that point.
Yeah,
but
or I
for
will.
now, or you will. One of us will know when it's going to happen. For now, I believe we start today's FPS back at the Tan family apartment. I forget what the place I named the place, but I can look at that later. I believe TOC is coming up. What exactly is TOC doing?
TOC is walking down the hallway, fiddling with their basket. They're bringing some cherry tomatoes today. And they are, like, barely ripe. Like, these are the first batch of the first batch. Like, even worse than the, frankly, very small kale that they brought you last time. And
Vegetables are vegetables.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's good food, and they are impatient to get it to folks, especially because they have so many plants. They way overplanted, given that, like, it's just them and their roommate. But that's fine, because they have tons of friends, and those friends will never have to buy their vegetable groceries ever again. But
or
that does
possibly cook PB&Js.
Yeah, they have not forgiven you for the PB&Js. Like, I think that they've actually mentioned it in like in between visits. They still send like letters to absolutely everyone they know daily, and Triny is a part of that fine tradition.
Oh.
And they definitely just like not over much, but they did poke a little bit of fun at the ridiculous amount of PB&Js. Like, not even peanut butter and banana or, like, any variety to it. Just PB&Js, Triny. Just PB&Js.
Okay. It's how it be sometimes, you know? Look, they're getting better at making salads.
Mm-hmm.
So, with TOC walking up to Triny's apartment, I'm guessing you eventually just peck on it.
Yeah,
Peck
it
on the
almost
door.
sounds like, the classic, like, woodpepper, like,
Oh, yes. The door eventually opens to Triny. Except Triny looks slightly different.
TOC was actually looking down to fiddle with like the cherry tomatoes in their basket because it's a wicker basket, and like it's you have to be careful that they're not like rolling out the little holes. And then they sort of glance up and they start to sign hello. And they go, "What did you do to your face?"
So in between the last time TOC saw Triny and now, Triny has received a redesign. I'll post the artwork because I do have it pulled up in the thing. But for now, since that, you can see Triny. First of all, not only have you noticed the redesign, but Triny is also wearing the classic yellow plastic gloves that like you see when cleaning. He's wearing an apron, a pair of boots, and like a little bandana over his head. Like he looks like he's cleaning. And upon immediately seeing you, he does say, "Oh, TOC! Oh God, you caught me while I was cleaning." And my face?
They just sort of like nod and indicate the vegetables. Like this is obviously not the first time, but probably not like even the second or third time they brought vegetables over. They have so many vegetables.
Understandably.
But they're all like not necessarily concerned because like you're not freaking out over it, so assumably they shouldn't be freaking out over it. But they are just looking. They're just looking.
Oh, I guess I should probably mention I got a small redesign. And you can see they're able to emote now. Like previously, they always kind of looked like their eyes did change, and it's just like they have like a small eyebrow that actively like changes how like they look. There's mouth, which used to be on the top, kind of now like moves and like actually changes to emote in different directions. And it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing for TOC.
Yeah, it's like you can roll an insight if you want, but they are perceiving. They are like,
Perfect.
wow, okay.
One moment. I will roll. I will roll an insight check. That's a
It's a
12.
12. I mean, it's above a 10. I think you maybe pick up that they're like not necessarily concerned, but they are
Confused.
yeah, they are waiting for more information.
Ah. Oh God. Okay. And Triny immediately like starts walking back into the apartment and just come on in. I can like let's put away the vegetables. Um.
Yeah, they
And
jump on
you
in.
know, yeah. Stepping inside. The one noticeable thing is that there's now a little butterfly scale next to the paintings, or not paintings, next to the family photos that you saw previously. Um,
Gosh.
that's the only new addition to the apartment. But yeah, Trini walks in, grabs the basket, and places like the tomatoes inside of like a little container to keep them safe, and throws them in the fridge. You see, all of the vegetables that you've been giving them have been slowly been getting used up,
Yes,
so
good.
they are eating them.
Yeah, and it's like TFC will give you, the friendly vegetables like the carrots, the tomatoes, the spinach, but also like kale, like really bitter cabbage. Like they're a fan of hearty vegetables. It's I don't know if Trini and or Victrola are picky eaters, but if so, there might have been some like we're just gonna put some cheese on this and just make it better.
They have learned to not be picky eaters. They didn't have much choice.
Oh boy. Oh bud.
Anyways, so yes, eventually Trini, I'm guessing, like sits down and you see there's like a mop bucket. Like he was definitely halfway through mopping like the floors, before you're sitting down, just like, so have you never seen a 2B redesign?
Um they will flutter up on the table because trying to sit in chairs made for someone Chinese size is a exercise in frustration. Um and they sign it. I don't think I've ever heard that verb described to a person before, I have to say.
Okay. Oh God, how do I am streaming this. I am not recording. I am streaming this live on Twitch.
Oh boy.
We are gonna. I am hoping that you have the recording. I am gonna stop streaming now. I clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, I
Uh,
got recording.
yeah, I'm gonna stop recording
You mean you're gonna start recording?
or stop streaming. I'm gonna
Oh
stop
boy.
streaming and I'm gonna start recording now. I Babel, I hope you're keeping all of these in. Because, so sorry.
I mean, listen, this is Toonkind
Good thing I caught
baby.
that.
Don't feel too bad. Like it's just okay. The pressure's on me, huh? Alrighty then.
Yep. I'm sorry, Babel. And I am recording again. Okay, I'm just gonna keep that going now. Sorry for that. Okay. How was I? Why? What was the last thing you said? Is you never heard that term be used on an individual before?
Yeah, they, just not a verb that one traditionally uses with people where they're from.
Oh. Um. Oh, God. How do I explain it? It's kind of. and you see like well, it's kind of a natural part of like how tunes grow in a sense. Like as we grow older, we kind of get new designs to better represent how we like manifest. Is the best way to put it. I'm not entirely familiar with how it works, but it is normal for us. And you see on the screen is an old picture of like baby Triny, where his TV looked nothing like how it looks like now. It was one of those little handheld televisions.
Oh my gosh.
That like were tiny.
With the little crank? Yeah. Like you wound it up and then it had energy to... Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm holding so gentle.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Jade. I gotta recover from that. My gosh.
It's not my first redesign. I think the last one I had was around 4 years ago, right before. Well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, a lot has happened recently, and so I guess it required new redesign.
Could they roll a quick insight on that?
Sure.
All right, insight. Okay. Do.
You know what? Because Triny is new at like emoting and doing things, I'm gonna give you advantage on that.
Oh boy.
Because I don't think he has it down yet completely.
That's a 10 and a 9.
Well, it's a 10. I mean, last time he had a redesign, something happened 4 years ago that made him get a redesign. That's what it is.
I mean, perfectly understandable.
Yep. But yeah, sorry, you kind of caught me in the middle of cleaning. It's the first day I've had off in a while. Victrola's off playing with a friend, and I don't actually have a case to work on.
They look kind of disapproving when you like sort of in that pointed like sort of way when you say that it's been the first time you've had a day off in a long time, and they sign well, why don't I help for a while and perhaps you'll actually be able to enjoy some of your day off.
You know what? I'm not gonna turn down help, and Triny is gonna go over to one of the rooms that's just laying on the side, and I'm gonna just go over to the couch, roll a strength check. I need a plus. I'm gonna say this is athletics actually. That's a 22.
That's a 22.
He picks up the couch. Yeah, he picks up the couch and just brooms underneath it. Yeah, all of the cleaning products are like underneath the sink. If you want to grab any of them, thanks for the help.
TOC goes over to the cabinet under the sink, gets about halfway, stops, turns back around, and they kind of do, the universal sort of hand signal for hold up, hold everything. What, like,
yeah.
Time out. Since when could you do this? And they sort of gesture frantically at the sofa. Like, it's, hold on.
You mean, like, since when have I been able to broom? I've been brooming since I was like 5.
No. Like, they sign, I thought you were a rogue or a ranger or something.
I'm a fighter. And you see on his screen, like, a bunch of time where he just like an axe has manifested like in his hands, like not even pulled out of like the usual place where like you see Toons pull stuff. They just appears, and like Triny has his axe just appear, like his fucking great axe just appear in his hand as he does so, and then you see like other memories of him, like him playing fucking hockey. Like this, like at a younger age, he's playing hockey, and it's just they're just like, yeah, I'm a fighter.
TOC is just like, you have never indicated like even this like they keep going to sign something and just sort of like almost like they're stammering in sign language, just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. They're like, it's, you have hit points? Since when do you have hit points?
This boy's strong. I mean, I I don't know how to explain that I know how to fight. I kind of had to learn to become a detective. Makes it really easy
They're
when you
just
can beat
like,
up the criminals.
they do like the prayer hands with their wings, which are, by the way, they look extremely toony right now. Like it's sort of like the cartoonish like faux humor or faux anger. Um, and they're just like, you and I could have been sparring buddies this entire time.
You want to spar me
They're
or
like,
spar with me?
mm-hmm. Like they nod vigorously, like, yeah, it's. They have no one to spar with, except maybe my roommate. But like, she's good and gentle, and very sweet, and very kind. And I don't know if she'd like to spar. But we could have been sparring this entire time. Oh my gosh.
Just imagine TSD's just going like in circles, like citing all of this, and like whenever they say like we could have been sparring this entire time, they just throw their hand, like their little wings up into the air.
Absolutely. That's precisely it. They are pacing like.
You see, Triny is enjoying this. It is very easy to read on their new face.
Mm. Yeah, they stop and they like cross their arms like or they start to cross their arms, uncross them to sign, well, I'm glad someone's enjoying this, and then cross them again.
You see, Triny like has put down the broom and the couch and is now leaning on the great axe. This is gonna ruin my floors, but I don't care.
TUC actually like they actually they calm down for a sec and they're like, if things really need to be cleaned, we can do that. But also, I'm gonna kick your butt. Possibly on the roof.
I mean that's usually where I go to practice if I need to do anything, so let's clean first. And then we can fight. I believe Miss Honeybottom is baking an apple pie for later.
They squint and they go, is that the old lady who failed to babysit Victrola?
He did not fail. That was a failure on my part. We both had a miscommunication on the time. Look, she makes great apple pies.
Like, there's no sign language equivalent of, like, humming skeptically, but they're doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, do you want to make another insight check?
Yes. 100%.
17.
That is a 17.
Chicken is delighted. They're so stoked. Like, and, like, part of it is, like, you know, the joy of being able to look forward to, you know,
fight.
Like, yeah, like, they genuinely enjoy fighting. But also, like, they get to fight someone that they care about, which in the right circumstances, is very good.
Oh man. Yeah. Um, while they're cleaning, because again, I'm guessing at some point they have to enter Triny's room, and Triny's like, "You can clean out here, and I'll clean in here."
They follow without hesitation.
Ah, lovely. It is a mess. Chinese room, that is. Victoria's room is usually pretty clean. She keeps it up to date. Um, that's the only thing she has to clean in the household, apart from maybe the dishes sometimes. But Chinese room, on comparison, you've seen it. I made it in The Sims.
Yeah, and I think we've actually been in there before, very briefly with Victrola.
Yes.
Like they don't judge you. They don't look surprised. They just like start stacking coffee mugs on their back and like carrying them out in like a ridiculous pile.
Yes. Oh my god. How toony is TOC right now?
They are extremely toony. They like it's almost completely toony in fact. This is like probably a record for them.
I have been meaning to ask you a question, actually.
They look at you around the huge pile of coffee mugs in their arms.
Yeah.
Like, yes, what is it?
You're aware that I don't know how to describe it, but you get more toony?
Toony? Like, they put down the mugs to sign, like the fish, like, as in a music tune?
No, not a tuna. A toony, as in like, and Trini goes and grabs a mirror and like shows it to you.
Hmm.
No.
Roll another insight check.
13. You know what? I
with
am
advantage.
going to use no. I'm gonna use my badge boost from the Glorps item I got to re-roll that thing. That's a 6. We're going with a 13.
I mean, you still have advantage because Triny knows his bird.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, sure. I'll roll one more time. No, that's another 6. We'll go with the 13.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like it's above a 10, and this bird hides like they're so goddamn like they're just not used to lying. They don't like to do it. TOC doesn't actually like they sort of for a second they kind of look blank, like they don't understand what they're looking at, and then they look sort of like oh like not necessarily alarmed, like alarmed's maybe a little bit too strong, but like sort of startled. Like it's they for the audience, this like a chicken encounters only so many mirrors in a day. Like it's not part of their day-to-day life. And as such, they like they know what it is, and they have no trouble making the connection between
Nice.
Juniper. Okay, we have confirmation from the powers that be that Juniper's apartment where they live has no mirrors. So yeah, it's been a while since they've seen their reflection. And they look surprised. Maybe with a 13 you don't maybe get the specific flavor of surprise, but like there's something in the mirror that they did not expect.
Triny actually like gets like the best way to say this is just like they sit down like on the floor just because they wanna be at close level with TOC to say, hey, I don't know what's happening, but I also know that you trusted me to look for your girl, and I don't have a lot of clues. I have some leads that I wanted to show you later, but anything you can tell me that might be helpful, including this, if you know anything.
Hmm. They. Gosh. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, baby! One moment, because I have something for persuasions. Never mind. This thing is horrible for persuasion. This is for something else. Persuasion is a plus what? Oh, +7. I actually have great persuasion.
Mm.
That's an
But that is an
11.
11.
Lovely. Absolutely great. That is an 11.
Unfortunately, you see them visibly hesitate for a sec. Actually, hang on. Nope. There we go. 15. They sign. I do trust you, and I'm very, very, I'm very interested in what you found out. It has been slow going on my end. It if I thought that it was connected to her in any way, I would tell you. I promise. Hopefully she had nothing to do with it, but I'm fine, and I can promise you at least that there's nothing germane to the case. And since that was a 15 for a deception roll, I think that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty good because it wouldn't have mattered. You could have not rolled, and I would have given it to you because Triny trusts you to tell him the truth.
I mean, most of what they said was the truth. Most of what they said was the truth.
That's completely valid. That's completely valid. But I was going to say, Triny puts away the mirrors and says, "All right, I trust you." Now, if you do want to see what I've actually thought of, you can come over to the board. Yeah, and there is a massive board filled with like papers, newspaper clippings, other different papers, tacks, pieces of string that are attaching them all together. It is a web.
Yeah, they actually do go and just take care of like the monster pile of coffee cups. Actually, like just to lighten the mood, like I can imagine there's a visual gag of every time the camera cuts away from the coffee mugs, there's more coffee mugs.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're just
gonna. They're impossible to clean up. They're just a constant in Chinese room.
God,
you see, he somehow got one and is now drinking a cup of coffee.
They sigh. But yeah, when they come back from like filling the sink all the way to the brim and just like mostly empty mugs of coffee, they will come back and they will sort of look at the board apprehensively.
Okay, so here's what I found out. So you see this couple of towns right here. I thought, hey, chickens, am I right? They're not everywhere in Anquil. Specifically not any chickens that are able to communicate and stuff like that. There are plenty of farms all around Anquil. So I thought, what if we cross-reference the location that you came out of, or usually the location that you came into Toontown from, alongside all of the farms, and that's their general direction, and then pinpointed which ones actually held chickens. I know you said you couldn't remember much of, like, a lot of things, couldn't you? And you see Triny's going on about this kind of stuff. Like, there's certain areas, like, there is a map of Anquil on the board.
Do you see pulls to them a familiar move where they actually like bring their wings up to sign, and then he's not done. Okay, now they'll sign. It's actually he's not done. Like this goes on for a while. And when once
Yes.
you're done, and like you indicate the board with a flourish, like
One moment. And there is one just to make one last gag.
yeah.
At some point, I think at the very tail end, just because you have heard this before, and this is why I think alligator wrestling should be a normalized sport. I love that running gag, man. It's one of my favorites for
Gosh.
Triny. All right.
Gosh, okay. Alright, God. I'm dying. Okay. No, wait. I'm TOC. I'm back to serious mode. TOC, kind of looks pensive for a sec. And they'll sign, I don't think I caught that last bit. But, I perhaps I should have told you before. I do remember, and they kind of will a little bit, and they look very grim. I remember the area. I remember bringing myself out of where I had been and bringing myself to the cruise and to here. I should say, none of my sisters, and they signed that last word very, very sadly and very fondly. None of my sisters had my gifts. They were non-talking chickens.
I'm sorry. And can I roll insight on TOC to see like I can pretty much tell like how they felt like when they were talking, but just to see like specifically when they mentioned I can remember the location and like that specific point, how they
Yeah.
felt then.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's an 11. I guess my
Roll
rolls are just going to be completely average this
roll
entire
with
time.
advantage. You know this chicken by now. And they are an open book.
That's a 13.
It's a little bit better.
No.
They are staring at a particular point on the map on the coast. Not too far from Inkwell. It's sort of a marshy area, very wooded. And they are looking at it with this dread. They are like this chicken does not get scared. They've talked to you about this before, where they just don't let that fear control their actions at all. But when they let their mind drift back to whatever that little point on that map means to them, they look chilled to the bone.
Triny is really like, you know what? Maybe we can talk about this later. We have been cleaning for a while.
Mm.
How about that spar?
While you guys were talking, like TOC started to sign. No, I'm okay. But when you said spar, the outline on their feathers, which had like gone away a considerable amount, comes back full force.
Yes. I'm happy. Happy chicken makes happy Triny.
Mm. Like chickens don't really fly, but they can sort of launch themselves like horizontally quite a distance. They do that over to the window where they know that the fire escape is. Like
Yep.
it's like you know how like dogs when they're ready to play will sort of like do the bow and like jump back and like look at you with like big eyes. They do
Yeah.
that and then they fly off.
Triny immediately begins walking towards the fire escape and just slightly mentions like, you already know where the fire escape is.
Yeah, Victrola showed me that she wanted to show me some of her dance moves.
And yeah, that is the truth. And Triny believes you.
Mm.
Anyways.
Oh wait, you never.
But yeah.
Hang on. Just an aside, Jade. There's a question in the notes that you never I believe, addressed. Like if TOC brought up a particular topic, would that fuck up your plans?
Um, I'd rather that Triny remained blank on that for now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's just for now. It's all
Yeah,
good.
we'll talk about it more off recording.
Of course.
Anyways, they get up to the roof. Like it's I cannot overstate how fucking excited this chicken is. They are like they have borrowed Marigold's little happy clip clops and they are doing those.
Oh,
I
I'm
will say,
dead.
by the way,
That's
like
so.
I will say, by the way, like they have not told you the specifics of, Juniper. Like you maybe have a name. You basically get that they have a roommate and she's, super cool.
Yeah.
But they have told you a little bit about Marigold and, a little bit about Nebula and Seeker. Like it's, they love to talk about the people that they love.
Tiny has definitely made note of that and made note of these people, and it's just filing them away for later.
Yeah.
These are just like, this is good.
Yeah, like it's, and you might, notice, at times they, if Triny, like himself, stands a particular way while he's talking or moves his hands a certain way, like, there are definitely times when they sort of like mirror that in their little chicken way.
Oh, thanks. I'm dying. That's so adorable. Oh, okay. Uh, Eventually, I'm guessing we make it up to the roof, and I did not get time to draw up a map.
You're
But
fine.
consider this as an apartment building. It is basically a square with a couple of elevated areas. I'm going to say, like an air vent, like a air conditioning fan. A couple, like maybe a door that leads from the inner like section of like the elevator and stuff like that that leads up to here. Um,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. It has a little elevated like railing so that way people can't fall off. Um, yeah. If you ever seen a roof in Hey Arnold, that's basically what this looks like.
Yeah, that's what honestly, that was what I was looking, or imagining.
Thank God.
They
But
actually
yeah,
they get up there and like turn around to face you, sign, hold on, go back down into the apartment, and you hear them rustling through the little pack that they bring everywhere. And when they come back up, they're holding their pitchfork, which they have not had probably since the cruise. It is
wait,
actually, it looks really nice. Like it's got a new handle. The metal has been completely restored. Like for a second, you're not even sure it's the same tool. And they actually take a second and they um, they sort of like show it off this, look at this cool thing.
Riley is looking it over. Is that and just says like, is this a hoe or what is this exactly again?
This is the pitchfork, the same
The
one.
pitchfork. That's what it was. Yes. Okay. This is so. Chinese looking over and he's like, "Is this the same pitchfork you brought into the cruise?"
They nod proudly, and they sign, Juniper fixed it for me. It's, the handle split the day that I met her.
Oh, well, they surely did an amazing job on this.
Mm,
I mean, that's some excellent work. You can
Juniper,
actually use this as a weapon.
yeah, they sort of, they give it sort of an artful little spin. And they sign. Juniper is fantastic. She's probably one of the smartest people I've met. She does things with metal that I could never have imagined.
Am I allowed to roll insight on this?
Sure.
Just a little. Okay, perfect. That's a 17.
So
The powers that be.
with a 17, this is someone that um TUC feels very close to. This is someone that they, genuinely treasure. Like, I mean, the same could be said for like most of the people that they tell you about. Like, it's occasionally they'll complain about some rude person, but most of the time they want to talk about their friends. You think like maybe this is their best friend? Like, this is like Juniper is someone special.
You care about them, yes. That is good. I'm glad that's what I got. So, uh, how do you want to do this? You want to stand like 30 feet away from each other and take a stance, or
Mm. They sort of they'll actually put the pitchfork down for a sec, and they'll sign ground rules.
okay.
If people go within 5 feet of the edge of the roof, we stop and reposition.
Understandable?
Because,
Yes, yes.
uh, do you want to fight until 15 hit points, 10 hit points?
Uh, 10 hit points.
Say
I
again?
should be fine. Yeah, 10 hit points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they nod sort of agreeably. Let's see. No permanent damage, no maiming, no mangling.
I wasn't planning to. Were you planning to?
They give you a look like, no, of course not, but like we're making rules.
Okay. You see, like Triny has taken out like their battle axe appears in their hands again because, again, this is not like the Toonkind taking something out of their hammer space. This is just they just appears.
Mm. Yeah, I
And
mean, they don't know what hammer space is, but like everyone they know makes things appear, sometimes from their mouths. Anyway,
yeah,
they
but yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
well, TOC, is just sort of like looking around for other like dangers to be aware of. Timeout means timeout. Sports and light, try not to, damage the weapons because weapons are like a lot of trouble to mend.
Oh, no need to worry about that. And you see, Triny has taken out like a pair of like plastic bits that go on the end of his great axe.
Yeah,
Like this, yeah.
they actually they consider the pitchfork. And then they run back down to the apartment, and they come back, and they stick some marshmallows on the prongs.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that's so adorable. All right. Okay. Whenever you're ready, we can roll initiative if you want.
All right. Hey, here's a secret. I have never
Done combat with TOC?
nope, not since I was 12 years old and playing in real life. If I did combat, well, I guess I kind of did with in the Magic's Tiny's game, Critter Hunt, kinda,
Ah,
kinda. Anyway,
well, this is a good way of seeing how TOC works. I am
yeah,
rolling for initiative.
okay,
I rolled literally a nat 1, so you get to go first, my good friend.
yeah, okay.
And obviously, by the way, if there's anything you want to bring up during these, we can just like keep rolling and just say what our actions do while we also talk.
Yeah, we're going on, the old
Yeah,
rule of talking is a free action.
correct.
Um, I think that they're gonna take the pitchfork, and they're gonna like try to sweep Triny's legs out from under him. They're short. It's right
All
there.
right.
You know. Um, would that be attacking with the pitchfork? Would that be
Roll an attack, and I'll say that if you get above like 5 of his AC, then I'll let you humble him down.
all right. I think that's it. Says Trident plus 6, 1d6 plus 3. 1d6 plus 3 is the
actual damage, and then plus 6 is what you get to hit. So a d20 plus 6.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Does a 21 work?
You knocked this boy to his fucking feet.
And that's I just said a d6, yep.
Easily.
Wait, did I say a d6?
This boy is prone, yeah.
Okay. 1.
It says 1d6 plus 3.
Yes. 4 points of damage. And for their second attack...
Okay. You have advantage on this one, because I'm prone right now.
Oh, boy. I think they're gonna, like, take the handle and just kind of bop you with it. So that would be... a 19. Do I need advantage?
You don't, technically, but if you want to roll for crit...
I'll roll for crit. A 15. We're gonna go with the 19.
Yeah, you hit. I can't even fucking shield spell either of those. Like, you just hit. Yeah, go ahead. Another d6 plus 3.
5 damage.
Okay.
Yay.
Not his best start. Triny is going to use half of his movement to get up and just say, okay, so that's how we're playing then. And, oh man, I almost just want to do this because it's fun, but also like, hey, did we allow spells?
TOC has no spells. So
I
they
have
did
spells.
not think to bring it up. It depends on whether Triny would think that was sportsmanlike or not.
Oh, fuck. I mean, they are a part of his moveset. That is how he works, but he does do a tanky hit anyways without them. Fuck it. He's going to use his 2 attacks to hit you with the weapon, and it's a plus 7. That is a natural 20.
Mm-hmm. All right, what happens?
So I'm going to roll 2d12 plus 4. So you take 22 damage.
22 damage, my goodness.
That is my first attack.
All right.
I get a second one.
Yes, I know.
So can I tell you what I think happens?
Let me hang on.
Triny hits you, and it's almost. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. That would be. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So Triny gets up immediately. Is like, okay, so that's how we're playing, and immediately do you see like a baseball game play on his screen, followed by like batter, and swing and literally throw TOC across to like one of the air conditioners.
Can we say because it was like they hit the conditioner and then it kind of creaks and like it sort of falls on them and there's a little bit of plume of dust.
Yes.
Plume of dust.
Yes.
All right. There's actually a second where nothing happens and you're like, oh god, and then they pop up and they look delighted.
And then Triny, I'm just going to say that I use the rest of my movement to get close and then immediately make a second attack.
Right,
man.
Right.
I did not know Triny was a fucking powerhouse when I built him, apparently.
A 10 does not hit. A 10 does not hit.
This is the saddest timeline. The plume of smoke makes it so you're a little harder to make out this for the second attack, and so he just swings right above you.
Yeah, like they duck down, and that sort of clears the dust, and then you look down, and they're like, you know how like cats will get like the zoomy eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining TOC with a little blep tongue out, because I don't think that's how chicken actually work, but like...
It's not, but like...
I know.
Gosh.
I'm guessing
Man,
they're very toony right now.
they're extremely toony. They're having a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Your turn, my friend. That is all I can do.
All right. It's man. I'm kicking myself for not looking up like tips and tricks for the Path of the Totem Warrior because I know they get like special things for like unarmed attacks, which I did not look up, and therefore I'm not going to use.
I would suggest immediately raging because you can do that as a bonus action.
Yeah, you know what? Oh my gosh. Okay. Breaking news. Petals, who is amazing,
We have a map now.
made us a map. My gosh. Okay. So I imagine they're probably B6, maybe C6.
Yeah, C6. Triny's probably like at B5, and you're probably at B6, if I had to guess.
Yeah. All right. Um. Yeah, they will. They don't even know what's going on, but they will in fact rage. Um. Let me
Hell
remind
yes.
myself what like it's, and the visual for this is like they're just so excited. They are. Oh my gosh. Like they like normally, they have pretty solid, um, they have pretty solid sort of grandparent energy. Right now, it is little kid energy all the way. They are stoked. And like
Hell
it's
yes.
like a sort of a Ghiblian sort of fluff up, and like like it's for all intents and purposes, they just look like a rubber hose chicken. It, you
Oh,
know.
this is lovely.
All right. Oh, okay. So, okay. So, resistance to damage. I should know what this means.
I'm gonna join my live stream, by the way, that I just set up on Discord. This is so wild. I've like this like we just got a map midway through a fight, so this is this is wilding. But yeah, I set up a TOC blue, Chinese in red, and that way you can see our positioning, and I'll just move us as I move.
Okay. Hopefully this won't fuck up the recording. All right. Okay, so resistance means that I have advantage against damage, right? Or no,
It
it's
means
halved.
resistance means that you take half damage.
Okay. And that doesn't stack with raging, right?
That's what raging gets you.
Okay.
Raging makes you resistant, basically.
All right, anyway, sorry. Author
You're
slowly
good.
learns how to play D&D after months. But in the meantime, they will
Yeah, it is your turn.
do 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 do. What happened to the? Okay, here's
You're
the roll zone. Okay, so +6, 19. Does that hit?
Damn it, yeah, why do you keep getting like the rolls that I just can't undo? Because if you got literally anything lower than a 19, I could shield and I would be fine.
I mean,
Go ahead, hit me. Hit me. Roll your damage. You hit me.
all right. Oh, need a D in there.
That's a
That's a
6.
6. All right. And for their second attack,
Yep.
I think that they're going to flutter up and unarmed attack. They're going to um gosh, what was it?
You just punch me in the face.
No, I think that they're going to, like, sort of attach themselves to the back of the TV. Like, sort of so it's difficult for you to get at them.
You want to grapple me? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, they're not restraining you. Although I guess we could interpret it as a grapple. But, like, just sort of, like,
Yeah,
you know
this would.
how, if you're wearing a big hat, you can't necessarily, like, touch the back of the big hat?
Yes, I get what you're saying. I would think this constitutes a grapple check to try to do this.
Alright, and I'm a barbarian, so I believe I get advantage on those.
Yes, you do. It's plus your athletics, I believe.
Plus athletics, okay.
And I believe I contest that with my acrobatics, which is not very good.
Okay, that's a 20.
Well, yeah.
We're gonna go with the 20. Oh, yep.
I rolled a 10. Okay, so you're on the back of my head.
They are, by the way, audibly cackling. Like, they are having a great
By the way,
time.
I am going to add 2 damage to the damage that you did previously, because I believe if you're raging, you get plus your proficient or plus 2 at this level.
Oh, dang, yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm just going to add that real quick. Perfect. All right. Well, if that's your turn, Triny's going to take his turn and just say, all right, so if we're playing like that, and he reaches to his side and takes out his gun.
Yeah?
And Triny is going to cast Magic Missile, which is an insta-hit.
Alright, hey, Triny, you know those are gonna explode right next to your head, right? And you're a television? With cathode rays? And wiring? Like, okay, player to player, go for it if you wanna. But also, may I suggest there be consequences to this action? I will leave it up to you.
I almost want to do it for Jim's. I almost want to do it for Jim's Magic Missile, because in rules, if you're talking like a rules lawyer, no, technically the Magic Missiles would just hit you and nothing else. But this is Toonkind, and we play by the rule of fucking fun. So I'm instead of casting Magic Missile, I'm gonna cast Jim's Magic Missile.
Jim's Magic Missile,
which is a different spell. A moment, and I will post it just because, so that way you can see it. Because this is one of my favorite spells of D&D. So 3 hypoallergenic, gluten-free darts of force energy are going to be whistling and trying to hit you. I need to roll 3 attacks. Plus 4 for each of these. And I'm just going to roll them separately. One moment. 20. 20 plus 4. That's a 14, a 9, and a 12. Do any of those hit?
Their armor class is 16.
Oh. Well, here's what happens. Triny wanted to cast Magic Missile, but with you on their head, they accidentally cast Jim's Magic Missile, which Magic Missile would just shoot straight up into the air, because that's what Triny was doing. He was shooting straight up into the air and then just immediately come back down to hit you. Jim's Magic Missile go into the air and then just flop in 3 different places around them, and Triny's just sitting there like, I miscalculated.
I should say I am having a great old time, and so I am cackling. TOC is not laughing at Triny's pain.
Oh no, that's valid.
They are. Gosh.
I will use my bonus action to use second wind, which gives me back 7 health.
Nice, nice, nice.
And that's all I can do this round.
All right, which means it is time for chicken again.
Yeah. What's chicken gonna do?
I feel like grappling gives me advantage on something. But also I can barely remember.
I think you can just attack. Like, I have disadvantage towards, I think, maybe hitting you. I always forget. Grappling rules in D&D are dumb. If you want to give yourself advantage on attacks, you can.
Nah, that's boring. Yeah, I think they'll just like, you know that thing where you're twirling a stick in the air and like you sort of like hit your side by accident because you lost control of it? They're gonna basically do that, except that instead of their side, it's Triny's head.
Huh.
So that is...
Goodness gracious.
D20 plus 6, yes, okay. 17.
Shield reactionary spells.
What does that even look
that
like?
makes my AC 19. That means that makes my AC 19 instead of 14, and that doesn't hit. You just see it hit against a magical force.
In like one...
Not so fast.
In one ear you hear, huh. And then they go for their second attack.
Go ahead.
12.
My AC is still 19. That does not hit.
Listen, it's tough. They're on your shoulders.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're bouncing and twirling around a full-size pitchfork, and they are a chicken.
Is that all you can do?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Then
I'm kind of ignoring my bonus action right now.
Don't worry too much about it. I don't believe barbarians get that much with them.
Yeah.
Then Triny is going to attempt to grab you out of there, so I'm going to roll. Do you think athletics would be good for this, or do we just say acrobatics still?
I think that it's your acrobatics against my athletics. I don't know if we both go for it, though.
I believe if I'm trying to break out of yours, then yes.
Okay.
It's contestant. At the 12, I hope you roll bad.
13.
Oh, fucking damn it.
You reach up with a hand and they like peck it away, like, hang on.
Alright, if that's how this is gonna be, and you know what? You're behind him, his head. Triny is gonna go prone by falling backwards.
Oh no, gravity is increasing upon me. I mean, what?
This is gonna make Triny prone, but I think you can roll a dex save, maybe?
A dex save, okay. Not their best. But that's a 19.
That's a 19. Are you gonna try to get off of Triny? Or, like, with a 19, I can say you just get on his face.
Yeah, it's... You have an extremely...
Like, you move over.
You have a extremely smug chicken face directly in yours.
Okay, this is starting to get embarrassing, as Triny's now prone on the ground with a chicken on top of him. I rolled a nat 20 for the first time, and then I was immediately, like, cut off. Okay. No, you're good. What can I do? I need to save that, because that's for later. I can't just use that. What do I have? Man, these are the times where oh, wait, I have action surge. What am I doing? I action surge, and I get to take an extra action.
Alright.
I'm gonna attack you, because now you're in front of my face. So I don't think that would impose disadvantage. That's 20. Does that hit?
Good job.
And does a 19 hit?
Both of those hit. Yeah.
Fantastic. 1d12. Oh, actually, since both of them hits, 2d12 plus, and I believe he is plus 8. Technically, because they're each different attacks. So 27 damage.
Man, they need more
This
items.
is literally all that This is what Chinese does.
Yeah, well, they're a barbarian, and they're still working with, like, a 1d6 plus 3 weapon. So I don't know what their problem is. Let's see, that would be...
You're good.
Alright, that's down... Well, that's not quite down to the wire.
Can I say what I think this looks like?
Absolutely.
Tiny is hitting like going like, get off of me, like hitting his own face with the long side of the, instead of hitting with the actual blade, which are dulled right now, he's hitting with the actual thing, like the long side of the great axe.
That works. Like, they get, like, sort of swatted into the air, and then, almost like T-ball, they get, like, again, across the roof.
You want to say, like, you're at D5 now?
Say again?
You want to say that you're at D5 now?
Honestly, I was thinking, like, a little bit farther, if only for comedy's sake.
Oh. Okay, D5?
Yeah, we can call that that.
There we go, perfect.
They, like, roll for a couple squares, and then when they come up, they, like, punch their wings in the air, like, yes! Oh my gosh, that was great!
And as Trides just like lays down his fucking battle axe, like leaving a little crack on the ground, he says, "Oh, by the way, have I mentioned I met a person named like oh god, how do I say this?" And like that's the end of his round. It's just like he gets into a weird conversation and immediately gets flustered.
Can I roll an insight?
That's the end of his turn. Yeah, go ahead, roll an insight.
All right. Okay. That's a 22. It's a 22.
There is blushing on Triny's face. They got flustered about someone. They didn't say who, so you don't get that information. But I'll say that you can see from where you are that something flashed on their screen.
Couldn't make out what flashed on their screen? Or would that be a perception?
The cruise. I'll say that it was the cruise. Because yeah, those yeah. I like it's just you're slightly too far away from what I'm able to see it, but you can see that he is flustered now. He blushed, and you saw an image of the cruise flashed, and that's all the details you can make out. And he was flustered about someone.
I think that they'll take the free action of speech, and they'll go. They tuck the pitchfork underneath their wing for a sec, and they like first of all, like they brighten, perhaps even more than already, and they're like, "Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. Oh, what's their name?"
Oh no! Triny's immediately blushing more. I need advice. After the fight, you see he's now like, like it's your turn.
All right. They take the pitchfork back out with a little bit of a flare, and they for flavor, I'm going to say, it's the same, like whatever they do with it, like the same amount, but they will. Oh wait, I have resistance to. Okay, I need to add back some hit points. I forgot that they have resistance to like basically everything right
Oh, you
now.
can get 11. You can get 11 hit points back, basically.
Okay. That's actually,
Yeah.
here we go. Okay, so, 1d6. Okay. 18.
Healed, baby. That's my last spell slot. I can only do that. I can no longer do that anymore.
Alright, they actually,
But my AC is now 19.
yeah, they use their now 40 feet of movement to, they use the pitchfork as kind of a vaulting pole, and then, like, when they're in the air, they bring it down, almost like a hammer, where your face would be if the shield wasn't in the way.
Yeah.
And again, they look very impressed. That's super cool. And while you're sort of like, while you're sort of locked, with the hand that doesn't have the pitchfork, they'll sign, well, if it was on the cruise, I suppose it can't be too many people. And then they'll go in for their second attack.
Oh heck.
16?
Nope.
Doesn't do it.
Nope.
Does the shield
AC is
stay up?
19 right now.
All right.
A shield stays up until I believe my next turn. So.
All right. And they'll spin and they'll go for another leg sweep, but like that one. They did that just a few minutes ago.
I jump over it.
Yeah, you jump over it, and meanwhile they're going. I suppose it could be Sunny. He seemed like a very nice young man, but it didn't seem very likely. Let's see, who else was there? Like, sort of almost musing to themselves.
Yeah. You don't need to guess. And he brings down the axe, as I think that's the end of your turn, correct?
Yep.
20 plus 7.
Does not hit.
13. That does not hit.
It does not.
That's a 9. You know what? Triny is so flustered. He just can't land a hit right now.
TOC's like ducking and dodging, They're like almost like sort of nonchalantly as they have this little conversation to themselves. Actually, you could roll on the inside if you wanted.
I was going to say you can roll an insight if you wanted, because
right.
Some stuff might be popping up on Triny's screen. I rolled a 6, by the way. Triny's not looking very well. Like, he's not paying much attention.
Eye contact is currently difficult. That's a nat 20.
27. It's a nat 20. You see who it is. Did you ever go to a comedy show on the cruise during your stay, would you say?
I'm gonna say yes. They actually made friends with a individual named Mr. Fox, who was part of the Day 2 group and one of Daffodil's friends.
Well, it's Daffodil. You see, Triny definitely went to another one of her shows, and like that is what's currently playing, and almost like an overly edited, like Snapchat filter. There's like a red glow, little like hearts, and then Triny's just like, stop! What are you thinking? And like this scene that you're getting from his point of view on his screen, which is a little bit wild to see. And you see Triny's just flustered. He is blushing, which now that he can emote, is much more prominent.
TMC will step back and signal for time. Like time out.
Time? Okay.
And they will sort of settle down on the roof, and they'll signal for maybe they go sit near the ledge, and they
I would think where the fire escape is.
Yeah. They will sit with with their legs dangling, and they just they turn to Triny with, the universal expression of dish.
Well, oh god, and you see, I don't want to. You rolled a nat 20. I'm just gonna give this to you. Chinese actually having a hard time talking about this,
Mm.
and you don't know why, because this is something that should be simple. This is a you can guess this is a crush. Um, the thing is, for whatever reason, this hits Trini a little harder than it would usually like anybody else. In a sense, it's the best way to put it.
Mm. Yeah, it's they'll sober up at that, and they'll sort of ruffle themselves and look at him very kindly and just tell me what she looks like to you, or what they look like. I didn't ask. They sign.
I mean, you saw.
Yes, but words have power, even over ourselves.
At that, Trini will. Oh Lord, you're really gonna make me fucking try to be a word poet right now? Because I can. I could do it. I could talk about Daffodil with Comet here and just make myself fucking embarrassed.
You mean petals?
One moment. Yeah, pedal.
Um,
Sorry.
I mean,
Nobody mentioned that. Nobody saw it. Nobody heard anything. I'm not looking at the peanut gallery.
I am. Um, I mean, like it's how much of a wordsmith would Trini be? Like, would he, have the rhetoric skills to be like, oh yes, she has, a face like yellow roses, or would she be like, he's nice and cool and
I am going to say that Tiny was actually really well read during his high school years. So I would say that he is somewhat good at least describing things and specifically like people and like being a wordsmith, particularly because I like being a wordsmith. And that's just how it's going to be sometimes, man.
nice.
But uh, you see on Chinese screen, first of all, um, the events of Copy Tango, in which Trini and Daffodil just danced and talked, and it was really nice. And you then see also the events of Missing Kitten, where Trini and Daffodil actually met, and like you can see there's a little bit of worry in Trini's eyes during those events, but like the fact that Trini got to meet Daffodil again, and like Trini states like it's just I don't know what it is about her. Like I've never liked a girl before.
Mm.
And on Chinese screen, you see previous. I guess the best way to put it is just be like partners. Uh, uh, and I don't know how to deal with this. I just know that her smile just makes me feel happy, and when I see her up on stage, when she's laughing and making other people smile, and she really does remind me of like flowers. Because her name is literally Daffodil.
Hmm.
And Trini is blushing
Yeah.
very, very hard.
Gosh.
And that's because I'm blushing very, very hard.
Yeah, it's. I applaud you, bud. TOC is just looking on, very, very fondly. Um, like I think they sign. It sounds like you cared for this individual quite a lot. It sounds like they are precious. Did you know? Um, flower meanings are, I've never really done not my area of gardening. But a daffodil stands for a new beginning. To start afresh, to make what has come before into what is yet to come. That is a daffodil.
You see Triny is very intently paying attention to that, and more memories of like the events of Coffee Tango just keep playing, and like other times they basically, because I would think they would probably also interact a little more during the cruise. Just like other times they interacted during the cruise time, and it's just Triny doesn't talk, but he does very much pay attention to what you say.
Yeah. I think they'll just finish up with, I'm glad that you have someone who's, so able to make you happy. That's very rare sometimes. Like, it's, you'll notice that they haven't, dropped any advice, but they are just sort of like this sort of a mixture of like the sibling schadenfreude of like, you have a crush, but also like it's
but also
genuinely
comforting.
Yeah, like genuinely, this is a good thing. Like, oh, Triny has someone who is able to make his day this much better.
Yeah, I think at that point, I think the fighting should would they go back to sparring after that?
Honestly, like it's as far as TOC is concerned, like they are back in like this is like Triny's time. This is like they have switch gears.
Yeah.
Do we want to tally up
I think
how
at that
many?
point.
Oh, say again.
If you want, yeah, sure, we can tally up see who won. If you want to just like bring that over Chinese head.
I mean, TOC has 30 hit points left.
How many hit points?
30.
I have 35.
Nice.
Haha.
Yeah.
Tiny wins. No, I'm kidding though. But
he wins, but at what cost? Now they're talking about his emotions.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hang on, my cat wants to be let in.
I think it. Oh, please take care of your cat. Hope y'all at the Peanut Gallery fucking enjoyed that because I am blushing up a storm.
Gosh. And like, by the way, TOC, like, I don't think they're going to like share this, but they're like, this is a very respectable match. Like, she's a gardener, she's a comedian, you need intelligence for that. She's obviously very kind. Like they're sort of like they're again not going to say this because that's incredibly overbearing, but they're sort of like, yeah, this is like a very nice young person for Triny.
I think at that point, the both of them just sit at the edge of the roof, like over the cargo for like just a tiny little bit. Like it's resting. It's a nice silence for a bit before Triny perks up again and says like, "Oh, oh God, how do I say this? I was meaning to tell you, and." Boy, oh boy, I have been planning this specific line that I was going to say for a while, but then my brain immediately kicked it out of the window, so now I gotta improvise.
Oh, bud.
No, it's all good. I'll be fine. So, Trini just sits there and says, like, I wanted to thank you for everything.
They look vaguely
And
puzzled.
It's like, how do I say this? I wanted to thank you for being there. It's been a while since me and Vic have had someone like this who actively comes checking on us and makes sure we're eating right. And I don't think I've had a day off in. And you see, he actually takes a moment to think about that, and just like, I don't want to think how long. Like, Victrola forced me onto the cruise. I was not going to be coming otherwise.
Gosh.
And also for trusting me with this. And like he points down below towards where the room we just were, where we were discussing things before. With this, I know I'm not an expert, like, at this job. I'm not an idiot. It wasn't even what I wanted to do originally, but it's what I landed on, so I want to help you with it.
Gosh, TOC is just the chicken. Like they sort of like they start out like almost like they have a joke planned, but that very quickly goes away and they listen as you talk. And when you finally go silent, they will sign. Well, of course I'm going to check on you. You guys are like family. You are very much like my brother. Like it's what a flock does. This is
Cat noise.
He's squeaky right
I'm
now.
sorry, that just killed me. Good boy. Alright, but sorry, keep going. My bad.
Gosh. You've eaten. Don't give me that. Not you, sorry. Like the TUC is they're almost like, it almost looks like they're thinking of something else. But they sign. A flock is, you have to trust. But there are so many things in the world that could hurt you that you need to find the ones who will never do so. And for me, I think that is you. And I think that is Vitrola and William. Even though William is a little... I have some stories about William. And that
Of
is
course,
Jackie.
so do I. And Triny's screen goes with the events of, if you're a detective, I'm a detective.
Yeah, they stop and they count the bard locks for a sec and they go, whoa, okay. But they, they'll reach up and sort of like, put a wing over your shoulders, and like you have to scrunch down a little bit, and like so that they can hug you. And they're like, of course, you don't have to thank me for that, since I have never thanked you for all of the things that you have done for me. It's just what we do. It's what family does.
And as you hug, I would like to make note of that in his new design, even though I have not drawn it, the little scratch mark is still there.
Gosh.
And upon the hug immediately starting, Triny immediately picks up and says, "Oh wait, I just remembered. I never even showed you the last part of my redesign." And Triny stands up and pulls, actually, like, begins to undo his shirt and like tie, and like shows off a small pair of butterfly wings that are now behind him.
TFC, well, you can't see that until you turn back around. But they're just kind of like, huh. Okay. Hang on.
Hippie.
Oh, you ate! I cannot stress how much you've eaten. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to stop the streaming for now, because I don't believe we need to keep going.
Alright, there's a cat on my desk now. That's fine.
Nice.
But yeah,
But eventually, Triny does his shirt up again and then turns around.
yeah, TOC will just kind of like, they have their heads sort of cocked to the side quizzically. Like you can't fly with those, right? Like they're much too small for you, surely.
I mean, I can, although it requires me doing something that I try not to do unless I really need it. Actually, and Triny undoes one of his little pins that is now in his on his things. He's just like, do you mind if I want to see if it's the pin that gives the wings or not?
Sure. Like, are you like offering to put it on them?
Yeah, I'm offering to put it on TOC.
Okay. Actually, I suppose that this is really the point where, like, maybe it won't happen for a few minutes or so. But this is really the point where if you want to avoid that high angst warning, this would probably be the point to bow out.
This is also the point where we should take a break. We have been going for almost an hour and a half.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna leave that in a cliffhanger, and then we cut to commercial.
Yeah. We cut to commercial. And I'm going to stop recording for a bit so we can go on break.
Alright.
And recording stop.
Haha.
You just go he who, don't you?
Look at the gallery later.
Oh wait, I didn't.
Every single one of them
the
has a look
recording
at.
on my end, and that's probably going to be the one that goes up. Hang on.
And we're back from that break. Hi, how's it going? So, Author, how do we want to pick this back up? So, Triny was offering the pin to TOC.
Oh, okay. I thought that he was just like taking it off, but yeah. I mean, they'll take it.
He was taking it off and asking, like, yeah, if they'd be willing to put it on.
Sure. I think they will ask, you know, what it does.
Well, and as Chinese walking forward and like beginning to, like, you know, come on down to put it on, they'll explain, like, so the ring is meant to apparently, like, grant you like a flight speed in a sense. Like, it lets me fly for like a minute. And you see, oh god, what's the best way to put this? At one point, Triny did use this during If I'm a Detective and You're a Detective, when they met William, where they literally flew up into the air, grabbed them, and swooped them off of the ground.
Oh, does he show like the first person POV of doing that?
Yep.
Yeah, they actually look pretty interested. I mean, the chickens are mostly a flightless bird. Not entirely, but like being able to, you know, fly like a hawk would be extremely cool. They will ask about the anime spike hair that William's wearing. But you know,
that's for William.
That's for William.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think they'll take it. They have no reason to distrust you.
Yeah.
Like, does it require attunement?
And Triny? I don't believe. No, it doesn't. It does not require attunement. So it's just put them on, and then, I mean, I guess just think about flying.
Okay, they fasten it to a couple of their feathers, and they, you know, they take a couple, you know, sort of a running leap, and, you know, flap for a few minutes, and then come down. There's no wings yet, but they sort of like look back at you like, are they missing a step? And then they stop and they kind of look uncomfortable for a sec. But they shake it off. And they start to sign something else, but then they look really uncomfortable. and they sign, is I think something's wrong. And they sort of dumbly fall to one knee.
You see?
It's actually very visible now. They don't look good. Like it's something's, the outline has stayed prevalent, but now it's sort of like it looks a little bit not sketchy, but like almost patchy.
What's happening? Whoa, whoa, whoa! And Triny is immediately heading downwards, like, picking you up. Like, what's happening? You okay? Like, you're nauseous? Like, what's?
They just shake their head, and they sort of duck their head underneath your arm, like the way chickens do, when they the way that chickens do when you hold them. And you can actually feel them shaking for a sec, like literally, like almost shivering with cold or pain.
Triny is alarmed. Like immediate like red bells, like or red lights are going off in his head. And he's I think he's actually he takes off his shirt and places it around around TOC.
When you actually, before you like get the chance, when you move your arms from being around the chicken to reaching up for the first button, something sort of shifts. Like there's not really like a sequence that goes along with this, but suddenly the creature in your arms is much heavier, and much broader, a little bit like sort of a stocky sort of thing. And you hear very faintly, it sounds like a dial tone. And when you pull away, you aren't holding a chicken. You're holding an object head Toon, who is racked with pain. They're dressed in, very practical, mostly black clothing, a little bit of brown and green in there. Overalls is sort of a thick wool coat, gardening gloves, which is a little bit incongruous, and their head it takes a second for you to place, but it is a old style, like an old-fashioned rotary telephone without the receiver. And they are,
You'll see.
they're curled up in your arms. They're not looking at you. They're not paying attention to anything. And you can sort of tell that this is a person who is in a lot of pain, whoever they are.
I have a question. Is the butterfly plane still on there? Like,
it is. And actually, as you sort of move around, you do see a pair of very beaten up white moth wings are sort of sprouting from their shoulders. Actually, roll me a perception check. While you do that, I will say something very odd about this person is that Triny's rubber hose, right?
he is actually a worn, but I'd probably say that he has some rubber hose in him.
They're animated in the exact same style as you and Victrola, and probably their parents. Like it's there's always a little bit of variation between Toons, but when it looks very much like the same sort of hand, if you want to be religious about it, I guess, designed to Toons or family, you can really tell. This person looks very like it could be a long lost cousin.
There are so many things going on in Triny's head right now. Like you wouldn't be able to see this, but specifically for the audience, there is like memories of Chinese grandparents going off in his head. There's memories of Chinese parents going off in his head, showing off on the screen. There's like times where he has like gone to the library and like looked up family records. Like there's a lot of stuff that's just going on all at once, and then it just suddenly stops, and then Trini just immediately like just hugs this person, like gently, because they are obviously in pain, and just says, TOC, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm sorry. And if you'll allow it, Trini. First of all, I rolled a 7 on the perception check. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you would allow it, Trini is going to take off the pin.
You take off the pin, and the moth-wings go away. The object head person does not. And because you got that 7, I'm going to say that the first thing you notice is a voice that doesn't come from, the person in your arms. Who, by the way, when you say that, one hand, their hands are sort of like gripping their upper arms very tightly, and one of their arms like unworks itself from their sleeve and grips one of your sleeves instead, just sort of as an anchor. But the first thing you hear of your surroundings is a voice that says, "Oh, I told you not to rush these things." Do you look up?
Yeah. Trini does.
There is Victrola standing there. Except not Victrola.
What? Oh my god. Sorry, you just fucking threw me for a punch in the gut.
Well, here's the thing, like, it's, that's probably Trini's reaction, but when you look closer, like, this is, your sister. This is not your sister.
Yeah.
Like, it's, the tutu is the wrong shade of pink. It's a slightly different model of radio. The speakers are, a little bit too angular. And they're just standing wrong. Like, you've never seen your sister stand quite that way, like almost like a much older person. But whoever this is, they are just sort of not getting too close, but looking. They look kind of fed up, very tired, like just like, God damn it.
I have a question. Is this person is this person standing over the boat, TOC and Trini, or is this person like semi far away, or is this person the person that Trini is holding currently?
This is a person who is far away and actually keeping their distance.
Trini slightly pulls away and pulls out his gun. And I don't know how good this is going to be, but Trini's going to try to roll an intimidation check.
Go for it. I will say, by the way, that the person in your arms has stiffened, like, upon hearing that voice. Like, they are still, and the only sound you can hear from them is that dial tone.
That is a natural fucking 20.
Well, it's a 27. Let's see.
I pull out the fucking gun, and Trina immediately says, "Stay the fuck away. You are. I don't know what's happening here."
The facsimile of your sister pauses, and they actually, they come to a halt, and they, fold their hands behind their back, and they say, "Detective Ton, it's such an honor. I've heard so much about you. You and I are, unfortunately, old friends, but you are not the person I am here to see. That idiot has made many mistakes, but this one has finally caught up to them. I assume you took off the badge, the pin.
Does not matter. What is happening?
The person in your arms will they are doing their best to straighten up, and they have TOC's pitchfork in one hand, and they are with one arm they are pointing it at this new person. You don't need to understand sign language.
The gun
to get
has
this
not.
sign.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The gun has not gone away. By the way.
And the facsimile of your sister's size. And they sort of pace a couple steps, sort of perpendicular to you guys. And in between one step and the next, they look like William. And then they look like a skeleton who you haven't seen before. And then they look like Daffodil. And when they come to a halt, they look like a rubber hose man in overalls, which are gray, unlike the black ones that this person with the pitchfork is wearing. And a very kind face, but kind of dead eyes, if that makes sense.
No, I get you.
Yeah. And this person says, forgive me, I'm sure that this is... They don't really say much of anything, do they? Not about themselves. Not about where they came from or what they are. I am the dead god of the bog. I am what was. I am what shall never be again. And I am that one's benefactor, more or less. And I'm here to fix the mess they've made.
Triny takes a deep breath. The gun still has not dropped. It is currently just pointed, and just says, "I've never been much for a religious man, so I don't give two shits as to who the hell you think you are. I'm going to be taking TOC over here to a hospital. I don't care what their story is, that is theirs to tell. And Triny is going to cast Firebolt from their gun."
It hits. You don't have to roll
it just
for
hits. Not even need to roll.
They don't step out of the way. They don't. And they sort of step through the flames, and they sit sort of cross-legged. And when they do, for a second it looks like your dad. For a second it looks like a high school teacher that you had. And then it looks like Miss Honeybottom. And the dead god says, unfortunately, they will die before you get there. They unravel so easily. I'm afraid my work was rather shoddy, wasn't it, ticked off chicken? And you can actually, you've been looking at this this intruder. You have not been looking at the person who's still sort of half in, half out of your arms, but they have been signing, let him go. Let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go. He isn't part of this, let him go. And have you been paying attention to their surroundings?
Whoa. Oh god, sorry. Okay. Triny's eyes have stayed, like, he is using all of his strength to hold up TOC, and Triny's eyes have been staying entirely on this individual. And particularly I think that once he feels the movements of like let him go, let him go, let him go, because that would cost a little bit of movement. He notices like TOC. He looks back down to TOC again just for a split second, just to catch what they're saying. And I don't know if that would give me enough time to whatever's happening through our surroundings.
You actually, I mean, it's more of an auditory thing, but there's no traffic in the air. You don't hear the sound of the leaves in the trees. You don't hear the far off sound of people, talking, working, doing goofs. So like Toontown is a very noisy city, and that is all gone right now.
A loud place.
And you look around, and you spot a leaf that is halfway between falling from a tree to the ground, just suspended in the air. And if you look off to the side across the street, you can see a lizard toon with a smaller version of herself, a daughter, holding her hand halfway through crossing the street. And you see all the cars are still. And there's no wind, there's no motion. And you might get the idea that time stopped.
And God, I know the spell that fucking causes. But trying to know the spell that causes this, probably not. He's not that great of a magician. Okay. Oh boy. What does COC look like right now? Could I try rolling a medicine check to just quickly see what is going on with their stuff? Yeah, I have nothing to medicine, but Triny is going to try.
Yeah, roll a medicine.
That is a 3. I know nothing.
You know nothing, but you do.
Triny, there's too much stress.
Yeah, they're still, like, if you've dragged them to their feet, you are supporting all of their weight. But you also, with that, you spotted a stain on the shoulder of their wool coat, which is like very it's kind of odd that they would have they just got the coat 2 seconds ago, but that might be something. It's over their shoulder.
Fuck.
And by the way, TOC is doing their best to angle themselves between you and this dead god, whoever they are. Like,
you know what? I think here's what Triny would do. He gently. Oh, fuck! This is the worst because this is what fucking Triny would do. But this is like I hate that I'm doing this for myself. But Triny lays TOC down on the ground. He's trying to support her, and he's putting himself between the dead god and himself.
TOC
and
will
gun out. 1 second. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a moment. Just gun out. Battle axe or great axe appears in hand. Okay, I have no fucking idea what the hell is happening, but I'm not letting you take her. Understand that?
The dead god sighs, almost a little bit fondly. They sit down on the edge of the roof, on that raised railing, and they say, "I'm sorry, I'm not taking them. I'm not taking this, perhaps as, I have lost much of my subtlety. It's been a rough few decades. I'm sure they could tell you if they wanted. Anyways, a conversation. Will you indulge me, Mr. Ton?"
Will you put them back?
That was my, that is my goal here, yes.
Then sure, conversation. Whatever you want, just get to it.
They gesture for you to take a seat, and I assume you don't.
No, Triny doesn't.
Yeah, and they sort of steeple their arms, and they look like a large, intimidating dog tomb that you haven't met, and they look like, let's see, they look like an odd snake design, bright red, no lines, sort of a nervous expression, and they look like a cashier that you maybe recognize vaguely from when you did groceries the other day. And they say, "I am the god, or I was, of long periods of time, of transitions, of endings that create something new." And they hold out their arm, and they do like almost a magician's flourish. And for a second, the facsimile of a yellow flower, a daffodil, appears over their palm and is lost. And for a second, they look very much like daffodil again. And they say,
God,
"New beginnings."
Triny just wants to shoot.
Understandable, have a good day. But they're still talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
I came to Toon, well, I came here when I wanted to die, because I am the god of endings, and there is no immortal being that can truly be the master of endings without amending themselves. I came to a little bog, a charming place full of mystery and wonder, I thought. Danger, of course, but what isn't dangerous on Iquel? And in my travels I came across a perfectly ordinary chicken, much like any other that could be killed for stew on this continent. But they had a lot of heart. They had come farther than most of their kind, and they had one more wish. One more wish, and so long ago in my youth, I was a god who granted wishes. It took time and energy, hard work, for that wish to be granted, yes, but I took such delight in doing well. So I granted one more wish, just one, that this chicken, who so desperately loved the girl who had been in charge of taking care of them, would have someone to rely on, that they could be stronger, smarter, better, the sort of person who could be relied on, the sort of person, the sort of being that could protect their flock no matter what happened. Chickens are very fragile. Perhaps if they weren't, I wouldn't have found them in such a state. But toons are much more durable. And so for a long time, I kept them, and I did my best to die in peace. And then they sort of, they smile. It is this grim, thin rictus of an expression. And they say, "As you can see, that didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to." But on the subject of this little chicken, the crux of their wish was love. Pure, unadulterated, unselfish, self-sacrificing love. Which is good for, a kiss. One great, fantastic cacophony of something to break a curse, restore the world to how it was in a bright flash. But it does not last. And it needed to last. It needed something more. So I gave them the only thing I really could. I gave them time. So much time. And they actually, that smile vanishes and they look haunted, which is maybe not the best expression for a god to wear. And they say, so much time. The bog. I did not know. Did you know, Detective, that bogs preserve dead bodies? Only sometimes. Only sometimes. In my magic and the magic of the bog, well, so much went wrong. So much is going wrong. But they have a chance. As long as they do not rush. They are so close, and yet they are so hasty. And if you look down at TOC, you can see very plainly that that stain on their shoulder is a blood stain in the shape of a very large bite. And it is spreading very fast. What do you do, Triny and TOC?
Fuck. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Yeah, this is, yeah, what do I do, huh? Ha. Triny standing between a fucking god and a chicken they love. And Triny tosses the gun and the battle axe to the great axe to the side and just rushes back towards TOC. And just says, come on. Look, I'm sorry for pushing you. I didn't mean to test for this. And just hugs them.
Hugs TOC?
And just holds them. Yeah. And just say, please, I love you. Don't come back, please.
They reach up and they, they grab the back of your neck and just, sort of donk their head against your shoulder, sort of as reassuringly as possible. And they sign, and their arms are beginning to shake again. And they're looking at the dead god and they sign, I don't want you near him. Don't want you near any of them. Shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be bothering them. It's bad enough you came to the apartment. And the god just looks at them and just, they actually, they stand up and they look, they look like, a very small rubber hose Toon. A little girl with sort of black curly hair and sort of a big puff on her head. And she's got a little frock made of, sort of green leaves, and some very sturdy boots. And they say, tough luck. And, I don't really know the equivalent between, sort of blinking for Triny, but, between one blink and the next, God is right there. Like, they're right there.
Fuck. My initial reaction is to have them punch. But Triny is just holding on to TOC. At this point, they have not let go. They are hugging and just you can just slightly hear whispers of please, I don't want to lose anyone else.
And they, the dead god, actually they bow their head at this, sort of almost in supplication, or almost in, you're not quite sure, but something about this is holy to them. And they will hesitate to actually touch TOC until they give the nod. And then they will Um, they'll touch the front of their left shoulder, right over their heart, right over where this bite wound is. You, by the way, you have blood on your shirt now. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Is this
And
like toon blood, like ink, or is this actual real kind blood?
mix of both.
Okay, perfect.
Mm. And first, it's difficult to really perceive what happens next. It feels like jumping into a pool on a hot summer's day. It feels like when you're a little kid and it's the first day of summer. It feels like going to your first funeral and not understanding what's happening, only understanding there's loss. It feels like walking through a dense, swampy woods and looking around and there are chimes. It feels like standing in a cornfield and watching all the corn and all the grains slowly go to dust. It feels like a drought. It feels like a flood. It feels like a deluge. It feels like all the different moments that are possible. It feels like time. And you sort of blink because this didn't take very long. And when you look back, there is a very small, real kind chicken in your arms. Perfectly real kind. No eyebrows. And the god, which by the way has stopped looking like this little girl that you don't know, and started looking like people that you don't recognize. An older version of the Toon girl, maybe a mother, a little satyr boy, a very old sort of skinny man who, if they were standing upright, they're kind of kneeling over you guys, would be extremely tall. And they do another little magician's flourish. And you sort of feel TOC in your arms warm. And their breathing evens out. And the eyebrows are back. And they look just the same as they were before, except exhausted. And the dead god falls to the side. And they're just going to lay on the roof for a sec.
Okay, give me one moment. Because I need to take a second. That was so good.
I need a drink of water, Jesus.
Yeah, please drink some water. Okay.
I got a little bit deep in the paint there, sorry.
No, you're good. Triny was like hugging this person that TOC had become, and is now hugging TOC, and you just feel like squeeze. Like this is the tightest hug Triny has ever given you since they've met you.
They
You immediately like there is like almost like pulled to the side, and the great axe goes from where it was on the floor and appears right back where Tiny's hands was, and it's just like Tiny is backing slowly away from the dead god.
They actually, TOC in your arm stretches their neck up against yours and wraps their wings around your shoulders, and they're just gonna. There's not a lot of strength in them right now, but they just hold on. They are. They're shaking again, but it's less in pain and more just the the subtle sort of periodic shivering of someone who is trying very hard not to sob out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. And actually, you
Tiny
hear.
is going to look at the dead god. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, when you look back down at the dead god, they look like you, which is probably not great. And they are kind of looking up at TOC with kind of a raised eyebrow, and they go, that wasn't me. Where did you get out the shoulders, little chicken? And one of the wings that's like around your your shoulders lifts up, and out of the corner of your eye you can see them flip the bird with their feathers.
That's the TOC I love. All right. Triny like holds up the axe and just points it at the dead god and just says, "Turn into my sister again, and I don't care if you're a fucking god. I'll kill you again."
If you can make me somehow better than I already am, you would be doing me both a favor and breaking some sort of scientific achievement, I believe. They're just kind of
Find a
chilling.
way.
Say again?
Humans find a way. And just... Are they just gonna stay on the roof?
They... Roll an insight.
Am I rolling insight on like God or on you?
On the god.
14.
They look exhausted. Like, you genuinely question whether or not this individual could move at all.
And he's just turning back towards at this point he's actually going to turn to TOC and say like, are we good to leave this guy here? Can we just go back to the apartment?
TOC very like but they do like wiggle out of your arms, and they go over and approach the dead god, and they sign, "Are you going to cause any trouble?" And the god says, "Dear little thing, I am a god, or I was. We do nothing but cause trouble. But I think I shall sleep for as long as I can, and see whether I will decompose a little bit more." And TOC is just like, "Great, good, try really hard. Come here again, and I will scatter your bones as far across this land as I can, and you will never know peace." And they sort of hobble back to you, and they sort of do the upsies motion with their wings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he picks them up. Yeah.
They sign. They're probably fine. They'll be gone before Victrola gets home.
Good. Because you and I have a lot to talk about. And like that, like obviously, like Triny meant everything that they said, and I'm sure I don't know if TOC heard all of it, but there's a tiny bit of like anger, like, are you sure you weren't holding anything back? Like that kind of thing. Like you can read that on his face. There's just a tiny bit of anger like on there, just like from that as they're heading back to the apartment.
Yeah, they look up and they see that and they're like, "Well, I fucked up again." And they just like hide their little head in like your armpit. Like, it's chickens when they're like sort of like when my chickens are in my lap, like it's very common for them to like start to doze and like put their head somewhere warm or dark, I should say, like where the sunlight can't get to them. They're kind of doing that.
I will say that Triny like grabs them because I guess they're carrying them right now. Grabs them, look at them, and then immediately says, "Please don't ever do that again." And you see just like tiredness and fear in his voice, and they just hug you like with as much love as they can.
TOC just like they hug you back, like, just very tightly, like, borderline desperately. Like, that's, you feel them, a little fist do a circle against your back in a sort of a makeshift sorry. Like, they don't want to pull away, but also,
Yeah.
they just, sorry, a couple times.
And Triny just says, "Don't apologize." And I believe they begin making their way back down to the apartment. And I think that's a pretty good place to call it, because this has been going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy fuck! I have so many questions.
Oh boy.
To let the audience know, I had no pecking idea as to what the heck Author was bringing to the table. You've gut punched me like 3 times during that entire conversation. I had tears in my eyes. That was amazing. I am going to stop recording now. Thank you to the Peanut Galleries, and thank you to anybody who's listening to this right now. But yeah, I'm going to stop recording now.